What if I told you that you only need to master 4 things on Instagram to get clients on repeat? 1 reel style, 1 story format, 1 carousel post, and 1 DM flow. That's it. No dancing, no chasing trends, no burnout. And in the next few minutes, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. If you're new here, hi, my name is Elise and I've been teaching Instagram for business since 2017. But the thing is, today, I'm a new mom and I'm expecting another one. So I've had to strip back my Instagram strategy to just what's working. So not too long ago, I ran an experiment. I made 1 reel style, 1 story format, 1 carousel post, and 1 DM system. And the results? Well, within 30 days, my stories were getting up to 14,000 views, which is like 10x my normal views. My posts were getting over 2,000 comments. I was able to add 3,000 new email subscribers to my list, and I was making daily product sales, all while spending way less time on Instagram. Now, before we dive into these 4 formats, because I will break them down for you, you first need to understand the strategy we're going to use to turn followers into clients, because that is the whole point when you're a business posting on Instagram. Now, most people treat Instagram like a content factory. They need to post 5 stories a day. They want to go viral. They're exhausted, but not making money. Sound familiar? But here's what actually works. You need your content to move people through your sales journey, your customer journey. You first need to get attention from the right people on Instagram, and then you need to convert them. So we're not just trying to get engagement just for the sake of it. The 1-1-1 method does exactly this. Each piece of the method has a job. So first, you're gonna make a reel that gets attention in front of new people and starts conversations. Then your daily story is going to nurture and build that connection, build that trust. Then when you post carousel posts, they're going to educate and help your audience overcome objections. Then your DM flow is going to convert all these people into buyers. Now, when you master these post styles, something magical happens. Your audience begins to know what to expect. The algorithm recognizes you for your consistent content, and you know that you are creating content that converts instead of just trying to stay consistent or whatever your motivation is. So I'm going to break down these 4 post formats for you now, but if you also want 70 done for you content recipes plus all my strategies, I put everything into a course called One and Done. You can grab it at oneanddone.co or I'll drop the link right below. All right, let's get into format number 1, which is what I call the Riddle Reveal Reel. This is the 1 reel style that stops people in their scroll and gets them to engage. Now, first, let me walk you through how most reels work. So first of all, you'll see a hook on screen with this text. Then you're going to share some more information with your on-screen text. And then you generally have a call to action to read more information. It's pretty standard. It's almost like a blog post with a headline and a sub-headline, and then there's the body, right? This is how most people do their reels. But the Riddle Reveal Reel is different. So here's how I design mine. First, there is hook number 1 right here at the top. Then I create a second hook. So there's more curiosity. I'm not teaching or giving away information. I'm creating more curiosity. And then the call to action is for them to comment a code word for me to reveal what I've made them so curious about. So the follower must comment on your reel, this keyword, to get the payoff, meaning the content that my hook has made them so curious about. So when they comment that keyword, their curiosity is satisfied. That was piqued with all my hooks. Now, what happens when they comment the keyword? Well, my DM automation flow is going to automatically reply to them with a private DM. So we'll get into that more in a little bit. But this is so powerful because first it creates a pattern interrupt. People are used to getting so much information in the reel itself, but when you make them take action to get an answer, it spikes your engagement and it makes sure that someone is getting a DM from you. So this is really where the money is, the DM conversations. So this is how you can get posts that get hundreds, if not thousands of comments on a single reel. And this is how you turn people from being a passive follower into someone who's ready to become a customer in your business. Now, format number 2 is my carousel post. This is the one type of carousel post that generates over 2,000 comments for me sometimes. Now, while reels are great for attention, especially for getting new eyeballs onto your feed, carousels are great for education as well as handling objections, because your customers are always going to have questions or wonder if you're really the right person for them. So when someone's scrolling through a well-written carousel post, they're spending lots of time with your content, they're absorbing your message, they're getting to know, like, and trust you. Now, the key with conversion carousel posts, which is my one style, is they don't just inform, they convert. So every slide is strategically designed to move the reader closer to making a buying decision. You're showing them a solution, you're addressing their doubts, you're giving them a clear next step. And just like the Riddle Reveal Reel, you're using a comment trigger to get people into your DMs, because remember, the money is in the DMs. Now, the beautiful thing about mastering this carousel post format is that you can use it over and over again. Same structure, just different topics. Your audience will start to recognize the style and they'll know that this is a super valuable post. So that's the second format. The third format is what I call the story seller. This is the one story format that can literally 10x your story views, and you only need to post once a day. That's the beauty of it. Now, most people overcomplicate Instagram stories. They're posting 5, 10, 15 stories throughout the day. They're showing their coffee, their workout, their lunch, their random thoughts, and they're wondering why their engagement is so low, why their views are so low. The story seller format is super simple, thankfully, so it's not going to take you a lot of time. Here's what you do. You start with a simple photo. I recommend a selfie, not a brand photo, but something showing you in your workspace, out and about, living your life, something interesting and different. Then with that photo, you're going to add hooky text that calls out your ideal audience and gives them a reason to stop and read your story and then reply to your story with a specific keyword. That's literally it. So obviously the copy and the on-screen text is really important here, right? As well as the photo. The photo does get attention, but that's the strategy. It's just one story, one strong hook, and then a call to action for someone to reply to your story with your keyword. Now, this keyword is connected to your DM automation flow, which I'll explain in just a second. And then when you post this story, it's your one and only story for the day. You let it expire before posting again. Why is that? Well, typically when you're posting multiple stories throughout your day, you're going to see that your views will drastically go down, and that's really disheartening. But when you only post one story a day and it's a story that people are replying to, the algorithm is going to see, people are really engaging with this story. We're going to show it to more people, so even more of your followers will see that story. So it's really a win-win. You only have to post one story, and the more people engage, the more your audience is going to see that story. That brings me to format number 4, which is the Carpe DM automation. The Carpe DM automation is where all the magic happens, because here's the truth. You can have the best reels or the most engaging carousels and amazing stories, but if you're not capturing those warm leads and moving them towards a sale, that's where you're losing out on money. So when you set up a Carpe DM automation, like I call it, what this does is make sure that people are being nurtured 24/7 in the DMs. So when someone comments your keyword on your reel, when they reply to your story, when they comment your keyword on your carousel post, with that curiosity that was piqued, the DM is going to send them the information that they're requested. So this could be just information in the DM itself. It could be a link to a Google Doc. It could be a link to your workshop, your freebie, whatever it is that you want to deliver to help them get the answer they're looking for. So the beautiful thing about DM automation is you set it up once and it works around the clock. There's no more manually responding to DMs. You're not going to miss sales opportunities because you were sleeping. And honestly, this is the strategy that allowed me to take 4 months off for my mat leave, and we still made $60,000 to $80,000 per month. My team kept posting these 4 formats of content, and then my DM automations handled the rest. And then that's how I was getting daily sales, all while I was off with my newborn. You might be thinking, well, Elise, this kind of sounds too good to be true. And I get it. There are Instagram courses out there that throw 50 scattered ideas at you and say, good luck. They teach you how to create content, but not how to get clients. The reason why I love the 1-1-1-1 method is because it's ridiculously simple. You just need to understand the 4 post formats instead of dozens of content types that you need to make. And it also addresses the entire funnel, the entire customer journey, from getting attention to converting people into sales. Plus, it's beginner proof. You literally can't mess this up if you follow the templates and the strategies. You might also be thinking, well, I don't have a large Instagram following yet. How am I going to convert these people? Well, you're in the right place, because most of my students that I work with do not start with a lot of followers. Most of them have 500 or less followers. Now, this system works because it's focused on conversion of the people who are currently following you. It's not focused on reach. It's not focused on getting virality. So you could have 200 engaged followers who buy from you, or 20,000 followers who scroll past you. What would you rather have? Of course, you want the 200 engaged people. So with this strategy, I teach you how to engage those followers and then how to bring them through the customer buying experience. Here's what I want you to really understand about this. This isn't just about making Instagram Instagram easier, though it definitely does do that. It's about building a sustainable business for yourself. When I was first pregnant and preparing for my mat leave, I set up these 4 formats and the automation flows, and my team could handle the rest without me. Plus, my DM flows were firing 24/7, so my business was able to continue to generate sales even while I was off for 4 full months. Could you imagine taking 4 months off your business? Well, it's possible when you have systems in place instead of just random acts of content creation. So if you're ready to finally stop guessing and start getting results with your Instagram, head to oneanddone.co and grab the full system. Inside, you get 70 content recipes that are pulled directly from my account. So you're gonna get 70 examples, including 20 Riddle Reveal recipes, 20 conversion carousel posts, 30 story seller recipes, plus trainings on every single strategy. I'm also including a 7-day implementation guide and your first 7 reels training so that you can hit the ground running. Meaning if you're starting from scratch, you're going to understand how to start your Instagram with the first 7 reels that you need to post. So I'll leave the link for this right below the video. You can join anytime. Now, what I've just shared with you is the foundation of the 1-1-1 method. But if you want to go even deeper on your Instagram strategy, I've got the next step for you. Go ahead and watch this video next, and I'll see you over there very soon.